Hey guys, ever seen a slime mold in a maze? It's like a blob trying to find a way out. It's not a smart creature, but it's got a weird way of figuring things out. It's like a blob with a bad sense of direction, but also a surprising amount of smarts. So how does it even know which path to take? Well, it's not using a map, but it's using something like a chemical trail. It's basically a blob that's really good at leaving clues for itself. Wait, slime mold isn't even a mold, it's like a giant single-celled organism. Yeah, like a blob of goop with a brain, but it's not even a brain. It's more like a colony of cells acting as one, like a group of ants working together but without the ants. Just a bunch of goo acting like a single, squishy creature. So when it goes through a maze, it's not like a brain thinking. It's like a whole bunch of cells collectively deciding where to go. Kind of like a group of people trying to find the exit in a dark room with no phones. And yet, somehow, it finds its way out. Like a group of people with no idea where they are, but somehow, all walking in the same direction. It's kind of like a blob with a plan, but not in the way you'd expect. Just a bunch of cells, moving like a single-minded, squishy, slimy, goop-based thinker. Imagine a blob that can move, stretch, and even eat things. Sounds weird, right? It's not a living thing in the way you think. It's more like a giant, slimy blob of magic goop. It can eat bacteria, fungi, and even other slimes. Talk about a foodie! But here's the kicker, it's not even a single cell. It's like a whole army of cells working together, but in a blob. So yeah, it's a blob, but it's also kind of a genius. Just not the kind of genius you'd want to share a snack with. So here's the kicker, it can solve mazes. Like, really solve them. Not just wander around, but actually find a way out. It's like a blob with a brain, but the brain is made of slime. And it's super good at figuring out which path leads to food. So it's basically a blob that can plan ahead. Not just react, but think ahead. Like a smart snack that's also a maze master. And the best part? It doesn't need electricity or a computer. Just a little bit of food and a lot of patience. So next time you're stuck in a maze, maybe you should try being a blob. It's the only way to get out with style. So, here's the thing, slime mold isn't a brain. It's like a blob of goop, basically. No nerves, no neurons, just a bunch of goo that moves around like it's got a sixth sense for finding food. But how does it find its way through a maze? It's not like it's thinking, it's more like it's feeling. Like if you're in a dark room and you just sort of wiggle your way out, but with a lot more patience. It uses chemicals to communicate with itself, like a trail of scent, but instead of perfume, it's like a trail of invisible spaghetti made of chemicals. It follows the smell of food and avoids the smell of danger. It's kind of like a smart, slow, gooey version of a snail. If you put food on one side, it will slowly crawl toward it even if there's a maze in between. It's just really good at following the right path. So no brain, no nerves, just a bunch of goo. But that goo is super smart. It's like a single-celled organism with a PhD in navigation, but with a lot more slime. So, first thing first, what's a slime mold even made of? Think of it like a blob of living goo, no bones, no brain, just a bunch of cells acting as a team. It's not like a regular mold you see in your shower, it's more like a giant, squishy, blobby version of a single-celled organism, but with a lot more personality. Imagine if a bunch of amoebas had a group chat and decided to take over a petri dish. That's basically what slime mold is, just a bunch of cells working together like a team. And even though it looks like a weird, slimy blob, it's actually super smart in its own way, just not in the way you'd expect. So, no brain, no bones, just a blob of cells that somehow manage to navigate mazes like a pro. That's the fun part. So imagine a blob of living goo, like a giant, squishy, smart jelly that's not afraid to split itself in half. It can split into smaller blobs or merge back together, like a team of cells that can rearrange themselves on the fly. It's like a group of cells that don't have a leader, but somehow still work together to get stuff done. So if you think of slime mold as a blob that can split, merge, and still remember the way out of a maze, you're halfway to understanding it. It's basically a living, squishy, team player that's way better at navigation than most humans. So, these blobs aren't just blobby, they're actually super sensitive. They can sense light, food, and even chemicals like a tiny, squishy detective. Imagine if your brain was a blob that could smell your favorite pizza from the other side of the room. That's basically what slime mold does with chemicals. They don't use eyes or ears, but they can basically feel the air like it's a giant, squishy nose. No need for a brain, just a blob with a nose. And here's the kicker, they can even learn. If they find food in a certain direction, they'll start moving that way automatically, like a blob with a memory. So next time you see a blob, don't just think you. Think tiny genius with a weird sense of smell and a love for snacks. So when you put it in a maze, it's like a blob on a quest for snacks. It doesn't have eyes, but it's basically a walking, slimy, sentient snack map. It moves slower than a sloth, but it's way more focused than a distracted cat. It doesn't just follow the walls, it uses the whole maze as a map, like a blob with a GPS. And if it gets stuck, it just splits into smaller blobs, like a slime mold version of a backup plan. So, it starts moving randomly, like a drunk ant on a trampoline. It just goes everywhere, not really knowing where it's going. But it's not totally lost, it's just exploring. But here's the thing, it's not just wandering. It's sniffing out food, like a super smelly version of a dog. It's following the smell of food, like a trail of invisible pizza crumbs. So, as it moves, it's kind of like a smart kid who's just trying to find the best route to school. It might take a wrong turn, but it remembers where it was and tries again. It's not perfect, but it's learning. Eventually, it starts favoring the paths where there's more food. It's like when you're walking to the fridge and you take the shortest path. But if there's a bunch of snacks in the hallway, you start taking that one instead. Over time, it's not just finding food, it's figuring out the best way to get there. It's like a living map made out of slime and smells. And it's pretty cool, honestly. So imagine you're at a picnic and you're trying to find the shortest way to the food. But instead of walking, you're just randomly splatting around like a confused blob. That's basically what slime mold is doing. It's not like they're thinking, okay, I should go left. They're just going wherever the nutrients are, like a bunch of gooey GPS that accidentally got upgraded to a blob. But here's the twist, even though they're all splatting around, they end up finding the shortest path. It's like a group of ants trying to find the fastest way to a sandwich, but with more sludge and less coordination. They don't have brains, but they have this weird way of sensing things. Like a blob that can feel the heat of the sun and knows where the food is, even if it's just guessing. So even though they look like a science experiment gone wrong, they're actually really smart in their own weird way. Just like ants, but with more sludge and fewer legs. So no eyes, no brain, just chemicals and a whole lot of slime. It's like a smart blob with no filter. It smells the walls and feels the air with chemicals, like a superhero without a cape. It's like a chemical GPS, but with more slime and less battery life. It's not thinking, it's just reacting to the chemicals like a really smart, squishy, gooey reflex. So it's not a brain, it's a chemical party, and the maze is just the guest list. So, imagine you're at a buffet and the pizza is way better than the salad. The slime mold does the same thing. It grows more where there's more food, like a foodie with a map. It's like a plant that's obsessed with snacks. The more food you throw at it, the more it stretches toward it, like a lazy person finally getting what they want. The mold doesn't just move randomly, it's like a smart kid who always chooses the most rewarding option. It's not just moving, it's optimizing. It's not a brain, but it's like a blob with a very basic but effective strategy. More food equals more growth equals more progress. So, next time you're in a maze, maybe think about what the slime mold would do. It's got a simple plan that works pretty well, like a foodie with a GPS. So, imagine your brain is a pizza and slime mold is a weird, gooey version of a pizza that can actually solve problems. But instead of using electricity, they use chemicals like a secret map drawn in goo. It's like if your brain was made of spaghetti and the spaghetti was actually guiding you. So, in a way, it's like a chemical map, but made out of goo. You don't need a GPS, you just follow the glow. And if you think that's weird, wait until you hear how it actually remembers the path it took. It's like if your brain was made of gelatin and it could remember your way home. So the maze is just a maze, but the slime mold has a way of figuring out which path leads to more food. It's like choosing the best route to the nearest taco truck. It doesn't have eyes, but it can sense food through chemicals. Think of it like a super smart smell detective, but with a slimy twist. When it finds food, it sends out more of itself to that path. It's like if you found a great pizza spot, you'd bring your friends there too. Over time, it builds up more of itself in the best paths. It's like a traffic jam of slime, all heading to the same delicious spot. Eventually, it finds the best route and gets to the food faster. It's like the slime mold is a genius, but with a really slimy brain. It doesn't take long. In just a few hours, it can find the exit. It's like a slow, squishy version of a GPS. No maps, just instinct and a lot of stretching. It's not like it's running. It's more like it's crawling, but with a sense of purpose. And then boom, it finds the exit. No turning back, just a happy blob. So next time you're stuck in a maze, maybe take a lesson from the slime. It's not about speed, it's about persistence. You can even watch it happen in real time. It's like watching a blob become a master of mazes. It's not just moving, it's thinking. Like a smart blob that somehow knows which path to take. It's like a smart blob that somehow figured out how to find the exit without even trying. And the best part? It's doing all of this without a brain, just some clever chemistry and a little bit of luck. So next time you see a blob in a petri dish, maybe it's not just a blob, it's a tiny maze-solving genius. But wait, how does it remember the path? It doesn't have memory. It just keeps moving toward food. It's like if you were in a maze, and every time you took a step, you just guessed where the exit was. It doesn't remember, it just follows the trail of food it leaves behind, like a trail of breadcrumbs, but made of slime. So it's not remembering, it's just feeling its way through the maze, like a very slow, squishy, blobby GPS. No memory, no brain, just a blob that's really good at finding food and avoiding the walls. So the maze isn't really a maze at all. It's just a bunch of food sources, like a snack buffet laid out in a fancy pattern. Slime mold doesn't care about walls or corners, it just wants to eat. Think of it like a buffet with a theme. The slime mold isn't trying to solve a puzzle, it's just trying to find the best deal. And it's really good at it. The slime mold doesn't know the rules of a maze, but it knows how to connect the dots. It's like a food map, drawn in real time with its own gooey ink. Every time it eats, it leaves a trail of slime that's like a memory. It's basically a smart blob that can remember where the good stuff is. So the maze is just a fancy way of arranging food. Slime mold doesn't need a map, it just needs a good meal. And that's how it finds its way out. So the slime mold doesn't solve the maze. It follows the food, like a really, really slow food baby. It's not like it's thinking, okay, I need to find the exit. It's more like, where's my next meal? It's like a blob with a GPS, but the GPS is just a bunch of food smells and some random vibes. The maze is just a distraction. It's not a puzzle to solve, it's a map to eat. So yeah, the slime mold is basically a walking, squishy food tracker. No stress, no strategy, just snacks. It's like a blob that's really good at sniffing out the best route. It doesn't use GPS, but it's basically a walking map made of goo. It follows smells like a super smart sniffer dog, but for food instead of people. If one path gets blocked, it just goes the other way, like a blob with a brain. It's not fancy, but it's really good at finding the shortest way out. So scientists actually use slime mold to solve real problems, like planning cities or routing internet traffic. It's like a brain made of goo, but way more efficient than your average human. They put the slime in a maze and watch it grow toward the exit, kind of like a plant searching for sunlight. It's not thinking, it's just following the path of least resistance. And guess what? The slime doesn't just find the exit, it finds the fastest way through the maze. It's like a living algorithm, but with more squishiness and less code. They've even used slime to map out fiber optic networks and figure out how to route traffic without jams. It's like hiring a blob to do your internet's plumbing. And the best part? The slime doesn't get stressed or distracted. It just flows through the maze, like a Zen master made of jelly. Who knows? So here's the kicker. This blob isn't just randomly slithering around. It's actually learning from its mistakes, like a smart kid who tries different paths and remembers which ones lead to snacks. It's like if you had a brain made of gelatin, and instead of thinking, you just spread out and figure it out by feeling the walls. Even though it doesn't have a brain, it's basically doing the same thing as a person trying to find a way out, just slower, gooier, and more delicious. It's not magic, it's just biology, and biology can be really, really clever when it wants to be. So next time you're stuck in a maze, maybe you should try being more like a blob. No stress, just spread out and feel your way through. So next time you see a slime mold, don't just stare. Ask it for directions. It's not like it's got a GPS, but it's basically the original Pathfinder, like a mold version of a GPS. It's like if a blob had a brain and a sense of direction, but it's actually just a bunch of cells working together. So yeah, it's not a magic trick, it's just super smart teamwork in a weird, gooey form. Next time you see it, give it a little respect. It's got more strategy than your average human.